Hello and welcome, everybody. This is Chart Request Live. Today is Thursday. We do this twice a week here on Stock Market TV, every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Myself and Patrick Dunawilla of the Chart Report. We're going to take all your ticker requests and do some live charting. How you doing today, Pat?
I'm doing well, and I think I have to apologize to our audience. Apparently, I was reading the mailbag from last week in the last episode, so I apologize. We'll try to get to everything today. It happens.
That's okay. We have a very forgiving audience, so that did happen. But we're just going to, pick right back up today. We have more requests today in the mailbag than we've ever had. So if you'd like to say a few words about the broader market, now is your chance. Otherwise,
We got a full mailbag. Well, we'll keep it simple because, to be honest with you, Steve, it was a boring week. It was a boring holiday week. So unless some crazy fireworks happen into the close, that's all you really have to know. While it was boring, we didn't break down or anything. There's information in that.
boring is good in bull markets, no?
Right. You're not seeing this kind of panic selling before the weekend where nobody wants to be long like we were seeing last year. So there's that. It's a bull market, don't you know?
First up, Athabasca Oil.
What's the ticker?
So this is a Toronto Stock Exchange. This is cool.
Okay.
ATH, all-time high. That's a great ticker. Yeah.
That is a great symbol.
Wow. This is like midstream. This has midstream written all over it.
Yeah. So it's kind
Is
of
it?
coming into this. It's had a decent run here the last few weeks, but it's kind of coming into this whole mess. Oh, this whole mess of overhead supply here. That's kind of a chunky level. It's between 550 and call it 850-ish. So that's tough here, but definitely has some nice momentum. I like that momentum's kind of confirming this move here. You did see it make a new high. So that's good, but it's tough to start a position here after the recent run. So yeah, I would there's probably better setups in energy. Some of them we'll probably look at here.
So
What do you got next?
I'm seeing $3 billion integrated oil. I think just more broadly, this was cool. So thank you. I believe it was Kareem, yeah, who brought us this request. We rarely get non-US listed ticker requests, but we can do that.
Yeah.
So please, more. And what I really like about this one is it's the right pond to be fishing in. Pull up EWC quick, Pat. So this
Yeah.
is the MSCI Canada index.
Ooh, very nice.
The
Like that
reversal,
a lot.
right?
Yeah.
Next stop, all-time highs. And when you zoom out, it's just as good or better. It's just a monster base.
Wow. That's a great point there.
So
Canada's, go ahead.
Canada is like, that's how we want to be thinking right now, right? Energy, natural
Materials, yeah.
resources, right?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of that's working right now. So
All right, moving on. I have been looking at Square Block, one of those like Google, still Google, right?
Meta.
Yeah, Meta. And it looks to be about to break out from overhead supply. I'm not great at charts. That's why you're here. But would find it interesting if you could look at it on the show.
Yeah. So
Hey,
this one,
I think he's wrong though, Pat. He says he's not good at charts. He just happened to pick a one that's right on the cusp of a primary trend reversal.
right, and he called it correctly. He said something about it about to be breaking out, right? And yeah, this has been a really clear level. We could probably bring it down even a little bit, but this 90, call it 90. 90 has been a tough level even before COVID. This was resistance. We finally broke it in COVID, and it's been resistance ever since we broke down. So it's touched it a lot of times, and you got to imagine each time it's touching it, it's kind of absorbing some of the overhead supply there. So got to imagine this level is getting weaker here now that we've touched it 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
So if we do get that breakout above 90, I think you're looking at 130 over here. These March 2022 highs, that was kind of the first bear market rally on the way down. So I'd expect some bag holders around here in that 130 level. So 90 gets you 130.
I like how you zoomed way out and continued that to draw that polarity zone
Yeah.
over at the prior cycle.
Yeah. Well, originally it was just drawn to there, and then I was like, oh, hey, this thing is important, right?
Yeah. Drop a VWAP, drop a prior cycle VWAP.
Prior cycle VWAP. Like from
No,
here?
no. Last cycle highs. All-time highs. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What was that?
I think it's the last peak, no? I don't know. Either way,
There we go.
you'll see it.
Yeah.
There you
Oh, yeah,
go.
right in there too. Also making it a really important level.
Well, confirmation. I like this one. This is the
Yeah.
same pattern, right?
Yeah. And it would make sense for this to work, right? This was a former leader for a while, and then hasn't led since it peaked out in 2021. So it would make sense for this to get going again.
Next
Knock
up,
down the doors enough time.
we got ATMU. This is Atmos Energy. Listen, Pat, we've been really into these heavily shorted
Yeah.
names lately.
Yeah.
This one has been better than any of them. Look at the squeeze that followed the breakout here. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
and
coil squeeze. So good.
wow. Wow. Quite the move. So what was short interest like?
I'll tell you right now, it's one of the highest. Pulling up my tables.
Look at that. RSI hitting an all-time high here. I mean, it's only been public since last year, but not even a full year. But just wow. I mean, there's a million ways to draw it. You could draw a little head and shoulders here.
It's one of those situations where it's like, now, where do you get long at this point?
Right, right.
I think there's like a bigger theme here too that we could talk about, which is that these stocks are working, right? The whole universe. This is just one example, but we could talk about Rocket Mortgage, Carvana. The squeeze is on in a lot of these names.
Yeah, so this is a what, automobile manufacturing or make parts?
Yeah, 26% short interest.
We just looked at one yesterday,
No,
GMTX.
this is not auto. I'm sorry.
Oh,
No.
okay. Um,
They do here, I'll read you the company description.
what was it? What was the ticker again? AT.
MU. Where's the 261?
Way up there. 3650. So that, I mean, that's kind of your next target as long as it's above this yellow one. But like he was saying, kind of hard to structure this trade here now that it's working. I think you want to get involved on a pullback, probably to this 2950, even 30. You could buy it and use that as your risk level maybe. But it's tough. This one, the breakout's on, and it's always tough when those are working. It's been incredible though.
You don't want to enter here,
Yeah.
I think is the bottom line.
Definitely one to keep on your watch list. You could try this breakout or this retest if you get it. If that fails, maybe it'll retest this base. I'd expect that one to be more successful. But wow, definitely one to keep on your watch list, right, Steve?
And we have it on. Keep it on.
What else you got?
All these shorted stocks. ConocoPhillips. Bullish 3-month trade. All right. Nice.
What's the ticker again? COP?
OP.
All right.
This is
Beautiful.
this is the theme though. Commodity stocks, Canada, materials, heavily shorted names, pro-cyclical things, risk on anything, right?
Yep. Yep.
XLE is getting it done. You see this?
Yeah.
Are you excited? I'm excited.
Yeah, let's take a look at that right after this.
Yep. Is that going to be chart of the day?
Let's do
Somebody
it.
had an awesome breakaway gap XLE chart that I know Pat is just chopping at the bit to write about for chart of the day today.
Someone posted a nice breakaway gap. Yeah.
Pat's
That's not
been,
for Gabe.
Pat's been waiting 2 years to cover the XLE breakout.
It really has just been doing nothing but consolidating for 2 years.
Yeah.
So this pretty well-defined level here, again, you have it
Yeah,
dating back to all the way here in 2022.
Yeah.
It's come into play so many times. Call it 125. If it's above there, that gets you to this 135 level. So not too much upside. And that's a lot of these energy names is they are breaking out of a nice consolidation pattern, but a lot of them do have overhead supply there. Not all of them. So if they don't, then that's a good one. But yeah, I think 125, you're looking at 135 is your next. And then from there you can kind of deal with it from there. But
I like the way you drew it, though. I think the lower rectangle is the more important one.
yeah, for sure. You could use 168, 167 as your target if you get that secondary breakout here above 138.
So he said his time frame was about 3 months. What if you just measured the base? Does that put you around the same place?
Yeah. So let's see. The base was what? 105 to 125. Okay, so 20 points plus 125, 35, 145
That
around
might be
there.
good for a 3-month time frame.
Yeah, that'd be a good measured move. Using that as your target instead of the fib here. I don't love using the fib here just because it is kind of a messy pattern. But anyway, what do we got next?
Did you want to show XLE quick?
Oh yeah, sure. Look at that. Gosh, there we go. Beautiful here. Just knocking on the door here, and you're finally getting it done. You're finally getting that. What is it? Can we call it a 10-year high, 9-year high? Looks pretty close here, but it's getting it done.
It's a multi-decade base breakout. What it really is.
Really nice move here, and it's been kind of creeping up the last few weeks. But what's interesting, Steve, is you're seeing everything else work this time. You know, in 2022 when energy was doing well, that was the only game in town. But this time it's a little different. You're seeing everything working while energy's working.
Good, right? Because
Good. Yeah, you're right.
I prefer the stocks that nobody wants.
Yeah.
And it's like energy, you're right. It got to a point where it had those year and a half of like crazy outperformance off of the pandemic lows. Everybody started talking about it. Then it gave us sideways for 2 years. So everybody either capitulated on it, got sick of it, forgot about it. Perfect, right?
Yep.
This is so ripe for a upside resolution.
No, you said it very well. Yeah.
Next we have, this one's good. This is too good.
What we got?
Give Spencer his flowers. The #1 Dow stock year to date, Disney. Should he buy more here?
Okay. Oh man. I think Spencer should buy more here. We'll call him up after this and tell him.
It's so good. I mean, I look at this. It's
This
great.
is good. Yeah. And you gotta imagine sentiment's pretty hated for this one.
And I
People
think
always hate Disney.
this was 161 who requested this. So JC also bought support here in this one.
Down here?
It's going to be in his kid's college fund.
I like it. So he bought this down here, this 80 test?
I like that strategy, right?
What's that?
He's buying support, like deep value technical.
Okay, yeah. On a name like this, yeah.
For his kid's college fund, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. If you zoom way out, the support level goes back. It's like Disney was printing this massive top. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It didn't go. Yeah, if you make a big, thick one.
Oh,
That's the way he was looking at it.
wow, look at that.
Yeah.
2014 lows. This thing's been acting as support for a decade.
And you know what we were saying about this, late last year? We were saying it's a bull market. we know it's a bull market. We're getting, momentum thrusts and breath thrusts like October of last year when it was bottoming, I think. Might have been even later. It was after the breath thrust, I believe. What were the lows last year? What were the lows?
80-ish,
No.
78.
The date.
Oh, I'm sorry. October. Yeah.
October. We're like, do we really want to make the bet that Disney, one of America's greatest companies, is completing a 10-year top in a bull market? Right?
Well, hey, it's up 50% from those lows, so it's outperforming on the way up too. Here we are. This is clearly an important level here. Not only was it the August 2022 highs, again, another bear market rally here. Those were the two nasty ones, right? In 2022, you had the March bear market rally, and then you had the August bear market rally. But anyway, so it was an important level here in 2022. Also, the 38.2% Fibonacci retracement. So if it reclaims this 126 level, you're looking at this next one at 155. From there, you're looking at 203, the all-time highs. But this one, yeah, I think it's definitely got momentum, right? Up 50% from its lows. Nice blue chip name like this. So if it reclaims this 38.2, you're looking at 155.
And this level's big, big. Like you could draw this like square and go all the way back.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. Yeah, look at that, 2015. Very, very good point. Yeah.
If you're above there, confirmed reversal, you want new all-time highs, I think.
And you could do that with the 61.8 too. I mean, look at that. That was the pre-COVID highs. So these levels, there's a reason these levels come into play over and over and over again.
Clean chart.
Yeah, really, really nice one. We got to remind us to call Spencer.
I already pinged him.
Nice, good.
Good job, buddy. All right.
What do we got?
Daniel, can you help me make sense of the Crispr chart, CRSP? I'm a long-term investor. I would like to know.
Steve, this is one of your favorites.
Level. So he wants them on both sides. For me, if you're back in the base, forget about it.
Yeah. But I mean, it has a chance here. It still hasn't died yet, in my opinion. I mean, look, this one we can draw it all the way back to clearly an important level here. It has the chance to dig in here. So it really needs to dig in the next couple weeks. This is a weekly chart. So, keep in mind, has a couple candles here. That's a decent amount of time. But to Steve's point, if it gets back in the box, man, you don't want to see that happening. Yeah, this looks just like the Russell in a lot of ways, right?
Does. Biotech. Looks like
yeah. Yeah, exactly. You're right. And biotech kind of looks like the Russell, so it all makes sense. But with a lot of these, and so on that point, right? If they all kind of look similar, here's Russell actually resolving. It did kind of dig in. It actually got into the penalty box and then got out. It was pretty messy here. But so we could see something similar with Crispr, where it kind of gets in and kind of messy start here. But I would just prefer to trade this one once it breaks these highs. And then you have these levels right here. If it breaks 108, that gets you to 150. 150 gets you back to the all-time highs.
So he wanted danger levels and then upside targets. I think this is the danger level because if you're back in that box, right, the risk is sideways to lower. And potentially we're retesting 40 where you have your cursor.
Yep. I would agree. Yeah. I think you can't own it if it's back below there.
And when we look at a pattern like this, Pat, we think, okay, rounding bottom, trend reversal is the path of least resistance higher. This is not a new uptrend because I think we're going on the 5th or 6th straight week of losses. Here today will mark the fifth or 6th straight week. That's not an uptrend.
Right? Yeah. And you can also look at it on a relative basis, right? It's really not, so many things are working, and this one, yeah, it might not totally break down, but it's going to require some patience, and it's just kind of messy. So it's hard to really like this one, but I do like the space. I mean, biotech, even though it's been kind of sketchy these past few weeks, it still hasn't died yet. I think it still has a chance.
And then I'll just say I like this one a lot long term.
Yeah, I know you like this one a lot long term. I mean, they're doing incredible stuff. It's really interesting.
That's right. Palantir, another one that I like a lot long term. Somebody's listening. Eric, Palantir, thoughts on entering here during this consolidation period? Not a good week for Palantir. Looking to be a long-term hold. Okay, long-term.
Yeah, Palantir, kind of a messy one too. It's coming into this whole chop here, and
A
I think
lot of
that
chop. A
yeah,
lot
that
of
could be
memory.
really, really messy to deal with. I don't at this point, Steve, I think I'd rather just revisit this one when it completes the base. Um, and you're seeing, I mean, basing is a process and it's a really frustrating process. It's a lot of backing and filling, a lot of starts and stops. So I think it needs some more of that before it's ready to really, really develop a nice trend here. Kind of see a move back to here. That would be a decent place to add at
Yep.
20.
When you say completes the base, can we
Yeah.
draw through that 3 week mess in early 2021?
Yeah, so I would use a line chart because it's so messy there. If you look here, you just have
Yeah.
a lot of
That
chop there.
that
Smooth it
looks
out with a line chart. Um, and yeah, just basically using these former highs. So you could see a move where it kind of just, pulls back here and then makes a new high, but that's a process and it's just really messy. Um, Ultimately want to see it get above 35.
I think even high 20s, 30 is where a big cluster is. It's been
Yeah,
about
yeah.
3 weeks.
You could draw it here too. I think
Yeah.
that would be a decent move. This looks like a blow off. Um,
Yes. That's right.
yeah, yeah, you could do that too. And you're seeing it got rejected here not too long ago, so that level is definitely important.
All right. This is good.
But I think you could give it a shot at 20 here, totally. If you get the
I agree.
pullback. I mean, it looks like it's trading at the lows of the week here, so
I
it's
also
only
think for
three more
something like
points.
Palantir, be mindful, right? We're only a month away from the next earnings report too, which is going to bring volatility. That big, yeah, you could see the gap from the
Ooh,
last earnings report.
I think this is worth noting too. We got this
Short-term top.
bearish little top here, and it's about to crack the neckline. So that's something to be aware of too. Of course, we know
They fail a lot.
when they fail, that's the best. But I wouldn't be betting on failure here. I think you have to respect the bearishness of the pattern until it fails. Steve, I'm not always so great at that. Sometimes I like to jump the pattern before it fails. So
That has a bearish tilt. He just doesn't know it.
yeah, we,
Um,
yeah,
so he said thoughts on entering here during this consolidation period. Then I think we gave a number of good levels, right? So I would scale on this one,
yeah,
right? Because there's a logical level right here. If this is not a top, then that's a great entry, right? If this
yeah,
does complete, then like you said, Pat, 1950, 20, you expect some demand to come in there. You could scale in more there. And then I think you get confirmation where you have the top rectangle drawn around 28, right?
yep,
Then
yeah,
maybe finish your position there. But all of these levels make a lot of sense, and you're probably going to see price react to.
yeah. I'm also proud of how we did this one, starting off with a weekly and then drilling down into the daily. I think that's a good way to do it.
Almost like almost like we paid attention all these years. Patrick and I used to study for the CMT exam.
I remember that. I remember that. It was kind of fun, wasn't it?
We had fun.
We had fun.
Taseko Mines. Is this another Toronto name? Yeah, TKO on the Toronto Stock Exchange.
TKO, total knockout. Ooh, nice little base here.
That's a gappy boy.
Yeah, what do you do with this, right? What do you do with that? That's tough.
What's the market cap on this guy?
What is it?
Seeing 500. That can't be right. Hold on.
500 million?
Now I'm seeing 900. Small stock. Okay.
Yeah, so I think above this, call it 90. Above 90 gets you to 100 here, 99.5. Um, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I like this little rounding action you have here. That looks like a nice little base. It looks like it's trying to form a bottom, trying to reverse higher. Yeah, 89, 90. If you get that breakout, 99, you get that breakout, get up to 116 here, former highs. Not a bad one.
Yeah, so some Sol, not bad. Look,
Yeah.
copper is a area we want to be looking to, like energy. This is a group where we want to be adding exposure to.
Do we have the right stock? So I'm seeing 14, almost 15 billion. It's movies and entertainment, is that right?
This is the wrong stock. Yep. Pat, it's TKO.
So this TKO is a nicey stock.
It's on the Toronto. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Taseko Mines. Oh.
Anyway, if anybody wanted TKO, that's the new WWE.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Here
Jeez.
we go.
Here
What
we
a
go.
base. This is great. Sweet chart.
Yeah,
Very
very nice. Yeah, this is more like it.
nice. See, Wavy likes to try and bring us the best bases. I don't know, man. I think you might have got beat today.
Ooh,
Wavy's next.
ooh, shots fired.
No, we have so many good bases coming up. I'm just cheating and looking down the chat now.
Oh man. All right. Let me go through this one.
So many good bases.
So clear level right here. Call it $3. You get that breakout above $3, you're looking at 4. Super easy.
Done.
Yep.
And that's 33%. And then after that, what? All-time highs?
After that, all-time highs. Yeah, you got it.
Beautiful. Love it. Next base, Wavy. GGAL. This is a Colombian or Portuguese, some ex-US bank. You could check in the info notes, Pat.
Yeah, you love the foreign banks right now, right?
I'm long Bancolombia.
Okay.
Similar. This is a good base. Yeah.
Yeah, very nice. I've actually moved that up.
I don't know if it's super
Yeah, so I
active
think the
here.
base was right around 20, the base breakout here. So the breakout's on. I would be looking to be buying pullbacks here to 20. I don't know if you'll get it. Next target you're looking at is 3150. That would also kind of fill this gap. I'd like to see that gap kind of filled. It's a pretty ugly gap, pretty big one here. So I would use 33 as confirmation. If it breaks above 33, then you're looking at this next one, 4750. Then we're looking at 73 as your all-time high target here, but slowly building that base, right?
Yeah, it looks good. Primary trend is higher.
Yeah.
Next, Mark. Oh, wait. A Wavy also likes MDU. Throw it up real quick. 17-year base. We just wrote about this
Oh
one.
man,
We just covered this in the
fantastic
hot
one.
corner. Wavy, I know you got this from the hot corner video yesterday. No, this is a great base.
This is very nice, Wavy. Well done to both of you.
Regulated natural gas, got to be long. And I think, Pat, we always say like, oh, I want to see a decisive breakout. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, that's pretty decisive to me.
The last 2 days candles and this week's candle.
Yeah, I want to look at it in the daily after this.
I mean,
But that's the general
weeklies.
pattern, right? I mean, it's not every day we're talking about a decade-long base like that. That is just beautiful. So let's drop it down to a daily, see what that looks like. This is what Steve's talking about. It's just gone vertical like that.
That's how you want to see a resolution happen,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Like,
you want it to be kind of violent.
this is a what, 10-year base? How many years? Right?
10 years, yeah.
Momentum doesn't get overbought, breaking out of a 10-year base, run from it, right? You can't trust it. Throw up Micron just real quick to make this point. Like there's a way to break out of these structural patterns. If we're talking about price memory from 10, 15, sometimes 20 years ago with these dot-com bubble bases, like you want it to go.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, it's suspect.
No, that's a great point.
All right, next, another base. The short float for CNX is 21.5%. I need to check the days to cover. It's big. I got long this one yesterday, and we will have a post that will be published on the website shortly with this one in it. This is on our freshly squeezed list. We just reran that universe the other night because we had fresh short data.
Yeah, so let's start with this one. Fantastic one, by the way. Let's start with this one all the way zoomed out. This is a monthly chart just to get the big picture here. So you can see this 23 levels come into play so many times here. I mean, support from 2000. I mean, you could call this support. This is an overshoot. And this is also 2008. So this is like one of the worst sell-offs ever. And it's still kind of acting as support. Yeah, you had some overshoots, but anyway.
2008 is important.
Yeah. So now acting as resistance here ever since 2022. Let's drop it down to a weekly. Beautiful little cup and handle. Here's the cup. We tried to break out last year, couldn't get it done, but built that nice little handle there. I think that's super constructive. It's definitely constructive. I mean, here we are at multi-year highs. So there you have the cup and handle. Now we'll drop it down to the daily. Beautiful. I mean, Steve, just perfect.
And again, I would use that word decisive to describe this one as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Momentum's got to get overbought when you're breaking out of patterns like this. I think it's so important. I love that you have it up
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Been using RSI more and more this bull market.
You know, Pat, there's a lot of stuff that just hasn't been able to get overbought this month or last month. Have you noticed that at the index?
So what in particular? I have, but yeah.
I mean, look at the Russell 2000 right now. Is there a better example than that? Like
Yeah.
small caps, like you're breaking out of a primary trend bearish to bullish trend reversal pattern. It's taken years and years. Just been watching this range go sideways forever. I feel like finally breaking out, and you're not going to get overbought. You got to get overbought there.
No, I mean, to push back on that, I completely agree. I would love to see this get more overbought, but I do like that it did get overbought here in December, and it never got like it really held nicely in that bullish range. So that's constructive. I think you could say, okay, maybe give it some time. Maybe we'll get that overbought reading in a couple days, which would be great because that means the Russell's going ballistic. But I completely agree. You want to see that kind of oomph, and you're not.
And while I'm not wrong to say this is trash, how are you not overbought yet, Russell 2000? You don't want to overthink the momentum divergence, right? It often comes later on a lag. You want to give momentum time to catch up with price. Price tends to move first. Yada, yada, yada. I complain about a lot of things with small caps right now. We don't have the time. Next is Samsara, IoT.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of buzz around this one. I know this one's been popping up on your scans.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's been popping up on ours. Has it been popping up on yours too?
Under the hood.
Okay. But this one's kind of tough here. We drew this VWAP, I think, last time we looked at this, because the breakout is already on above 30. I don't think you'll get a pullback, and if you do, I don't think you want to buy that pullback. Let's just redraw this. So these IPO highs acting as support now. This nice little consolidation. Yeah, I think you have a little bit of former resistance now. It should be support here. So if it pulls back here, you could try it there, buying this retest of 36. But if that doesn't hold, then you're looking at a bigger retest down to 30 here. That really needs to hold. Otherwise, you're dealing with this really nasty just gap here. But it's on its way to its target. Let's fib it out and get that target. Around 45. You can also draw it from here. Yeah, around 45 is your target. So maybe buy a pullback to 36 if you want to be a little more picky, wait till 30, 31. But ultimately, it's on its way to 45 here.
Yeah. What I really like about this one is you got a huge breakout. Breakaway gap back in, what was that, late November?
Yeah,
Right?
December 1st. Yeah.
Monster breakout. And then not much follow through, but a clean and successful retest, right, of that breakout. And
Hmm.
a steady bias to the upside, but really a range. So it
Yeah.
hasn't done much for 3, 4 months now
Yep.
in the context of a nice breakout. So guilty until proven innocent, but want to see it start moving here soon and
Yeah.
legging up.
But I think it's kind of interesting. Look at this base on base on
Yeah,
base kind of thing,
right.
right? And some of the best trends, that's how they work, right?
This is a really solid trend, slow and steady.
Yeah, so maybe this one's just starting to gain momentum here.
Yeah.
Bottom line is I like it here, and I'd be looking for ways to get involved, either 36, 30. Um, but yeah.
Again, this momentum theme. Just saying.
Also, you could buy the retest of this AV WAP too. So that's another thing you could use. You drop
Yeah.
a AV WAP from the top of this, and you can see recently here, kind of acted as support there. So
Yep.
also another risk level you could use.
I guess we're just gonna stay on the short squeezes. RKT, please.
RKT Rocket.
Also currently long this one.
And this one's always heavily shorted. Is
Shitty
it
reversal today.
was this one on your short report recently or
Of the daily. Yeah. Yep.
cool?
We outlined long in this one. It's been working. This is one of those residential mortgage companies. It's Quicken Loans.
Yeah. The owner owns the Clippers, right? Or the
Uh,
Cavaliers?
Cavaliers.
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 Dan Gilbert, right? Hey, surprise
Hey, look at
parents.
that.
Which cat is this?
This is Lola.
Lola.
She knows when the red light on the camera goes on, she just starts raising hell in here. That's what she does. She'll come on my desk, knock everything over because she knows we're doing a video.
That's how cats are, man. I love cats. They're great. I hate the whole debate between cats and dogs. I think it's silly.
I
Like
love
they're
them
both
both.
great animals.
I love them both. You should have
Yeah.
both.
Yeah.
Did you see my tweet the other day? Did you agree with it? Why wasn't
I
it in
liked it. I
report?
liked it. Everyone should have a analyst cat.
Desk cat. She's my desk
Desk
cat.
cat.
Yeah. Yeah, this is clean. Nice and clean.
Yeah.
At this
15
point,
level.
I would draw another line at the little base here. The pivot highs late 22, early 23, 10, 50, whatever, right? But
Mhm.
you missed that at this
Yep.
point. So
Yep.
now this is very likely going to be a buy on strength type entry where you have that rectangle drawn.
Yeah. No, that's a
Next,
great point. And yeah, go ahead. Well, let's get a target for this one real quick.
let's give them a target.
Let's give him a target. So wow, look at that. 38.2 aligns perfectly. So I think you're looking at 20. And also worth noting, these are really important psychological levels, right? 15, 20, those are nice round numbers. I know it might sound silly, but you'd be amazed at how much those round numbers come into play here. Also,
They do.
Steve, look at how oh well. Anyway, go ahead. Next.
No, I was agreeing with you. You
No,
done?
no, no, no. I was gonna make a point and it totally wasn't a good point. So
I'm sure it was great. But we're running out of time. AT&T, listen, we're not going to do AT&T. 20-year base for Justin.
I'll fall asleep if we do AT&T, but I will do GE. You see GE recently?
Yeah, but here's why we're going to skip AT&T. It's a bull market, right? And there's a lot of high beta, offensive risk on stocks that we want to be buying. You don't really want to buy AT&T as a vehicle in a bull market because it's a telecom stock and it's a secular laggard. But then also, even if it was to short, I don't really want to short stocks in a bull market either. So, not a bull market name.
No, but for
GE,
boring stocks, this is have you seen GE lately? I'm pretty sure RSI is at an all-time high, weekly RSI. Somebody has to go double check me on that, but that is
as good as GE was all those years, you're going to tell me momentum is better today than ever. I love that. The
I
stock,
think so, yeah.
yeah.
I mean 91. So you don't usually see RSI in the 90s.
Listen, we're going to hit two more, and then we'll be back on Tuesday. Merck is next. Sticking to the blue chips. What did we just go over like three just really old school Dow stocks in a row?
Yeah, people like the Dow.
Yeah.
People
Listen,
like the Dow names. You like your Dow names.
I like this name.
Merck has just been it's been a beast. I mean, we got to zoom all the way out here.
Yep.
So this is what you're dealing with. This is the general trend. The primary trend here is clearly higher, and you're dealing with a massive, massive 2-decade breakout. And those are the hardest trends to get into, is when they start going from these massive bases, because it can get really hard to get into. But this one, I don't think you want to see it fill this gap. That would be bad. I think best case scenario here, you're looking for a retest of this top here, this 130, and you already kind of got it. I'd be buying pullbacks to 130. The first target here is up at 137, so be mindful of that. That you do have potential resistance not too far ahead.
Yep.
But this one looks good. The breakout's on, long-term breakout. Probably a good play longer term. What do you think, Steve?
The theme of today's show is monster bases.
Monster bases.
So all of the price action that you just analyzed and walked us through on a more tactical or shorter time frame is in the context of this. We went sideways for 20 years, right?
20 years.
Just broke out. So there are going to be corrections and pullbacks, right? But dips are to be bought in a chart like this at this point. The breakout is more than valid and complete, right?
Yeah.
Confirmed over and over and over again. So yeah, it's where do you get long and where do you manage your risk?
Yeah, but it is worth noting we are coming into that first target here. So we could have a multi-month consolidation there once we hit it. In fact, I'd expect that. So just be mindful of that. If it's a short-term trade, buying that pullback to 130 and then selling it at 137 here, it's a decent way to play it.
And Pat, that's going to do it for today. I think we
That's going to do it. Do we get to all of them?
No. We never do, though. We never
do.
Never do.
Do you got any favorites?
That's a good problem to have, though.
What's your favorite right now? Give me a good base. What's Steve's
Mm,
favorite base?
I bought some AGIX this week.
Okay. You almost stole mine.
Let's go with crypto.
AGIX?
AGIX USD.
AGIX USD. Got it. Ajax. Is that what you call it? Ajax? What do you call it?
This is a AI crypto currency.
Oh, it's got all the names. It's got all the hot
It's called Singularity Net, I
topics.
believe.
I'd call it a cup and handle, sir.
It's a good pattern. Really nice pattern. Not many cryptos making new all-time highs. This one is. I got a little. I could mention a couple things. I dabbled with precious metals this week. Don't love it.
Well, so when you said AGIX, I thought you were about to steal mine, and that's AGI.
No,
I know you like the Alamos.
See, this is all these AGs. I bought some AG calls this week. If you just want, let's just keep going with the AGs. It's the same theme.
Wait, so AG is silver, right?
Yeah, First Majestic.
Wait, isn't AG silver on the periodic table as well?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Ticker, right. But AGI, I mean, this is the industry leader. This is the one. I know Ian likes some others. Eldorado Gold, is it? EGO. Harmony looks good. HMY. But AGI is one that we've been making money on in bear market for gold.
Yeah, because it was a relative strength leader. So we also when Ian put that trade on too, we bought that retest right here in October.
Yeah, I love it.
And gold wasn't even really, I mean, now it's at all-time highs. Now gold's really moving, so the trade should work even better now. But here we are setting up again. It broke out of this massive base here. Not massive, two-year base here. Check this out, Steve. So it ran to that first fib, right? And then it's just been consolidating there for the past year. So you broke out of a 3-year base, then you formed a 1-year base on top of this. And I think if it's above 15, you're looking at 20 as your next target here. Let me clean this up a little.
You want to do one more?
Yeah, let's keep it going. It's Friday basically.
I just looked at the chat and I feel like
You're like, oh, okay, we gotta do more.
you guys, I was trying to get off. I got work to do. Pulling me back in as I look at the chat. All right, we'll
That's
go
when
to
I thought I
Mara.
was out.
We'll go to Mara now.
Mara, okay. Ooh. Why don't you break this one down? What do you think of this one?
1920 has always been our level, right? Reversal
Yeah,
is in at 1920. So it's here. Messy. Other crypto stocks look a lot better. This is not MicroStrategy. It's not Coinbase.
right.
I'm still buying calls.
I think you could, this consolidation pattern, I think is probably constructive here. It looks like it's trying to hold that base, even though it is messy. Um, Personally, I would buy this breakout about 31 and then play it back to the all-time highs here.
I think, Pat, that is some sage advice at this point. This resolution has gotten so messy, you can't trust it. I kind of want that confirmation too.
Yeah.
For any longer term or longer time frame trade, for sure.
Look at that. Aligns with the fibs pretty well too.
Yeah, it does. And if you get 34, you're going back to those old highs at 80.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
This thing's gonna.
Yeah.
And also, when is this halving horror event? That
So I think it's in April sometime, right? The horror event. Just a couple words on that. I remember last time, and it's probably going to be the same this time. Everybody expected it to be this event, and they're missing the point. It's not supposed to be this overnight thing where all of a sudden Bitcoin jumps. If anything, it's going to be a sell the news. But what's really going on is changes in the supply and demand dynamics, and that takes a little bit of time to play out, but it's powerful when it does, and that's why you see Bitcoin's almost always at an all-time high within 6 months, or it always has been at an all-time high 6 months later.
And this halving thing is going to be over sooner rather than later. I think that's a good thing for these Bitcoin miners too.
Get it out of the way, right?
Straza, I am a college student. I have 10K worth of shares and 4Ks and calls on Mara. You're probably watching too many of my videos. Look, that's not smart, right? It's not a wise thing to do. It's not a conservative thing to do. But if you're 19, 20 years old and you're in college, you can make decisions that aren't that smart, right? You're not going to make a big splash with a 10K account without probably taking on excess risk. And also, if this doesn't go your way, I blew up accounts when I was in college too. So it'll be a great learning experience. At this point, you really can't lose. You really can't lose. I mean, right, Pat?
I think the squeeze is on, yeah. It's just a matter of kind of how do you play it? Where do you get in at this point?
Well, I'm not saying you can't lose from a trading perspective, but if you lose, you win in terms of experience and learning.
Yeah, just generally, the time to take bigger risks is when you're younger, yeah.
May 17, $20 calls. Listen, don't send me your specific contracts, but if you're holding, looking out a month and a half, I think the primary trend is higher. It's fresh reversal. You're probably going to be okay.
I agree. I think the cat's out of the bag. It's going to be hard to get it in, kind of thing.
I mean, 40% of your account in Bitcoin miner calls, you only want to do that when you're in college trading a 10,000. But good for you, right?
Yeah, you try that shenanigans with a wife and kids, you're gonna be on the curb pretty quick.
If you figure out risk management, that's the right kind of trader character, I think, to have. You want to get long, you want to get long calls, the highest beta thing, make as much money as you can, especially when you're in college and have a $10,000 account. You want to flip it to 20, 30, 40 quick, right? And you have to kind of do things like that to do that. So if you're aware of that dynamic, that you're playing a very high risk, very high reward game, right? Those Mara calls, the ones you're talking about, can go 5x, 20 grand. You 3x your account size, right? Or they go to 0, and then you've drawn down 40%. But that's, if you know that and you're comfortable with that risk, then yeah, great, good for you. Cool. Mark Zerby, the biggest base I'm watching. Bases only, guys. We're not taking
bases only at this point. Yeah,
bases only. We're running out of time here. SLX. Zoom out on the monthly, he said. All right, Mark.
SLS.
SLX.
SLX. Oh, okay. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. You already got it. All dialed up here. Let me clean it up a little bit. But this one, we've been waiting for this one to go for quite a long time, and it hasn't really, but it's one of those things where it's also like what we just said, kind of cat's out of the bag and the breakout's on. It's just been a slow breakout. But maybe it'll start picking up here. I'd like to see it reclaim those December, January highs around 75, but it's holding where it needed to. It did pull back after it broke out, held that 67, 68 level, got the successful retest. So now you're looking at a target.
Again, this is the right idea, right? This is the right kind of industry group. This is the kind of pond that we want to be fishing in right now. Commodity stocks continue to lead, show a lot of strength. XLB, new highs. PSCM, that's small cap materials, new highs. This is an environment where steel stocks should thrive. And Steel Dynamics, Nucor, Reliance Steel, all breaking out of monster consolidations.
Yeah.
Probably three of the larger components in SLX.
Yeah. And a lot of these are, they're also part of a multi-year base breakout. These stocks were hot in what, 2021? Remember when XME was really moving?
Off the pandemic low, same as energy.
Yeah, XME. And then this is another one that's just kind of been a consolidated mess. It's just been a mess, but slowly setting up. We'll see. Should we shut it down, Steve? You got any more?
XME was thrown out. I think Pat's analysis on SLX more or less applies to XME. It's a similar structure.
Similar, yeah.
That's it.
I think I like SLX more though.
One more.
A little cleaner.
SLX, yeah. SLX is better. If you want to get long something now, SLX.
Yeah, for sure.
We're gonna do one more. I don't even know, Jonathan, if you're asking for it. RVMD. Yeah. Jonathan with the RVMD. This one looks great. Popped up on Hot Corner this week. I love it when they buy the trend reversals.
RVMD, we might have looked at this last week, but it's worth looking at right now. Definitely worth one to have on your radar.
Also, shout out Make Canada Great Again. I love that that's your username, and I'm with you. So bullish on Canada right now.
I like Canada. Canadians are very, very nice people.
Think of all the stuff we're saying today, right? Cyclicals, materials, energy. This is a Canada.
This is a Canada market. You're right. Yeah. You're absolutely right, Steve. Yeah. You are absolutely right.
CNQ, awesome. Talking about big bases.
So there's like 3 different Canadian companies that I always get confused with. It's CNQ. What's the railroad? So there's CNP, right?
Canadian CNI.
CNI, maybe, yeah.
I think CNP too. Anyway,
they all look pretty decent too.
No, CNP is not. It's CNI. Yeah. And then CP, Canadian Pacific, which just merged with like Kansas City, so now it's like Kansas City, Canada.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, all these Canadian names looking really good.
Joel's asking.
Whatever happened to that one?
Joel's asking me if I found a meme.
Just hanging there.
Joel's asking if I found a meme coin to YOLO into. AGIX and also the Stacks, which is not a meme coin. STX though. Just two buys I made today.
Wait, STX like
not Seagate, the crypto STX USD.
Stacks. Oh, I like this one. Very nice.
Pat, question in the chat.
Yeah.
Is there potentially a catch-up trade in the rest of the miners, right? You have stuff like MicroStrategy and Coinbase that's working really well. Some miners like CleanSpark and Cypher working really well. Others like Mara, Riot, not so much. I know Hut made a nice move today. Here's the thing with catch-up trades. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Catch-up trades make sense a lot of times and don't come to fruition, right? So I would think, yeah, totally a catch-up trade, Mara, Riot, the other miners, so makes sense. these businesses are all slightly different from one another. They have different cap tables, right? Different cost structures. Some are better than others. I think the ones that are probably leading are probably the better operators at this point. Bitcoin mining can't be too complicated of a business, right? They should all be pretty similar, but I'll bet you some are a lot better than others. So if you were to do some fundamental work, I'll bet you could do just as good of a job picking the right one over longer time frames. For now, CLSK is in a league of its own. Mara, Riot, Hut, the others really got to get their game up. And now the leader looks like it's failing. So I don't love it. With that said, I am long Mara calls for the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Mara is the leader that you're referring to, right?
No, it's not. CLSK is the leader and
CLSK.
it's rolling over here today.
Yeah, finding resistance at that level here. Makes sense that it would struggle at this level, but I think there's still a chance, Steve. I
I
had
think,
this head and shoulders drawn, and that wasn't a head and shoulders. So you
yeah, that's
have
right.
that, and it's made quite a nice move in the last week or so. So
When it's a bull market, and this goes for anything, right? So right now,
yeah,
say
see, it's still 9%, up 9% this week. These are insane moves.
but these stocks are up 9% in a day when they
Right.
work.
True.
In bull markets, the hardest question is: do we buy the leaders, the ones that are already working and outperforming, and bet on more of the same, or do we buy the underperformers or the laggards and bet on them catching up to the stronger ones? And I think the answer is usually both. You can dabble in both of those universes, right? You always want to buy the leaders, definitely, but sometimes you can get some just awesome catch-up trades in the laggards. Right now, the Bitcoin miners in general are the laggards. Pat, just throw up Coinbase and MicroStrategy really quick to illustrate that point. There are other crypto market equity vehicles that are doing so much better than these Bitcoin miners at this point, right?
Mhm.
So go look at your Coinbase, go look at your MicroStrategy. Go look in crypto at some of the altcoins. The miners are having issues or whatever it is to start this year off. They're not continuing to grind higher like some of the other crypto vehicles. So while
Steve,
yes,
would you buy pot here?
would I buy pot here? From crypto to pot, it's a bull market, Pat. We're
It's a
having
bull market.
conversations like these. Heavily shorted stocks, cryptos, commodity stocks, pot. It's a bull market chart request live today.
It is a bull market.
Yeah, Pat, I
But
would.
seriously, what a reversal going on here. And from a more hated group of stocks. I mean, I'm almost embarrassed pulling this chart up right now just because pot stocks are such a joke. But
I dipped my toes in the Tilray yesterday.
okay.
I can't lie. Very, very small, really just for fun. Like I also put some money on the Yukon Lady Huts.
Same thing.
You know what
Same
I mean?
thing.
So
You're
like I put
scratching the
some money
same
on
itch.
Tilray too. I don't know. What do I know? But yeah, look, big Doge today. We'll
Big
see.
joke.
I think you said it best, Pat, just the other day when we were doing Chart Request Live. You were like, this feels a little bit different for pot stocks. Maybe it was on Spaces. You said it,
Yeah.
and I totally agree. I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about you. I agree. All right, let's put this thing down. We've gone over now. We're going to get yelled at.
Let's do it. Hey, it's Friday, basically.
Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you, Patrick, for chart ninjing for us today.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
This was great, as always. Long weekend, right? So no show tomorrow, no any shows tomorrow on Stock Market TV. Day off.
Yeah.
And we'll be back next week with all of our regularly scheduled programming. That'll be it. Email us questions at stockmarketmedia.com. Any questions, comments, concerns, want to say hi, or request tickers for next week. You can find us there. Everybody, thanks for joining. Have a great weekend. Bye, Pat.
Awesome. Thanks.